Hello, hello, welcome to New Gameplay Today. I'm one of your hosts, Wesley LeBlanc. We are joined by Kyle Hilliard. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, Wes?
Doing pretty good. I just got back from a trip last week to San Mateo, California at PlayStation's headquarters to play this game that we are looking at now. It is Concord, the upcoming 5v5 multiplayer hero shooter from PlayStation's one of its newest acquisitions, Firewalk Studios, which it purchased last year. Yeah, this is the next game in Sony's PS5 PC simultaneous launch initiative, kind of their bigger live service push.
Yeah. Turns out they like money.
Yeah, and Helldivers 2 is good proof of that. Best-selling game of the year. And I think they're hoping Firewalk and Concord can do the same for them. But yeah, we've only got a little bit of footage here today, so I'm going to kind of cut to the chase. I have a full preview up on GameInformer.com where you can read my extended thoughts, which is kind of where I dive into a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff going on with this game and the lore and the attempt at narrative storytelling in a multiplayer-only game. So go check that out if you want more details. But we are looking at gameplay here, and I have to say, this game feels great. I had a really good time.
I mean, that's the thing about seeing it that recently at the PlayStation showcase, right?
Yeah, the state of play.
Is they were so focused on the world building that you're like, I don't really know what to take away from your gameplay, your thoughts, or anything. So it's good to hear that you thought it felt good.
Yeah, for sure. And just for people watching, this is a bunch of different clips that we have spliced together from PlayStation. So I'm not going to be diving into like what we're looking at specifically. This is just a bunch of gameplay from different modes. I got to check out 10 of the 16 heroes and 3 of the modes. I'll talk about my favorite heroes in a second. The modes they're fine. It was trophy hunt, which is like kill confirm from Call of Duty. You kill someone, they drop a trophy, you have to pick it up to get a point. And then there was another mode where you have to capture a single zone, and another mode where you have to like escort or grab a piece of cargo, which is a blue robot buddy, and take him to a plant point. Trophy hunt was my favorite because we could respawn. The other 2 modes you could not respawn. So instead of doing the objective, we just focused on killing the other team, which is also what I do in Search and Destroy in Call of Duty, because honestly, it's usually easier to kill 5 people than it is to capture the objective. I hope they can kind of work something out around that. I don't know if that's necessarily what you want in an objective mode. But for me, like I had the most fun in Team Deathmatch because I got to play round after round and try out different heroes and stuff. As for the closest comparison, after mentioning Call of Duty a bunch of times, I would say this is not a Call of Duty. This feels a lot like Destiny with Overwatch's like hero mixture.
It's not surprising that you say Destiny. This certainly has Overwatch vibes in terms of different characters and things like that. It's kind of undeniable. But the way you're jumping and how it's kind of an intentionally floaty jump, it looks like, I'm speaking for you here. It makes me think of like Halo a little bit, just in the speed in which you're falling, which obviously kind of extends to Destiny as well.
Yeah, similar. So there's different jumps, and for each hero, they have different grenades, they have different deployables, different weapons. Like every hero is very different. So some heroes do have that really floaty Guardian jump like in Destiny. Others have a more tanky weighted jump. But it really does feel a lot like Destiny, especially in terms of like the time to kill. Like it's not Call of Duty where whoever starts shooting first is probably going to win. This is like you do have to utilize strategy and utilize your whole arsenal to defeat somebody, which is something I really appreciated. That's what I like most about Destiny's Crucible combat. So I'm playing this and I'm like, oh, this is great. This feels like Destiny. And then I'm writing up my preview and I had forgotten that like 3 or 4 of the game's leads are former like Destiny executive designers, like lead designers.
It all makes sense. It's all coming together, Wes.
Which it helped out a lot because I've been playing a lot of Destiny, trying to catch up for the latest expansion, which means I've been playing a lot of Crucible. And I'm not gonna toot my own horn too much, but I was on a team and we were slaughtering the other team of my fellow peers. And after a couple rounds, they moved me to the other team, and I had to kind of give them a little buff, and then it was a little more fair. So that kind of I felt a little good.
Yeah, I bet that really happened, Wes. Yeah, that sounds like a real thing.
Yeah, it's fun. This is, I mean, there's not much to say more about it. I've played a couple hours of it, so I don't know how the progression, the seasonal content, like all the stuff happening under the hood is like and what's going to keep players engaged, beyond a week of playing with friends. But I think with a game like this, the most important part is it fun? Does the gameplay feel good? And my answer to both of those questions is yes, which is awesome.
Cool. Yeah, and abilities too, right? Like abilities have to be fun to sort of execute.
Yes, for sure. And they're varied, like extremely. There's not archetypes, like there aren't tanks, assault, and support, and you don't slot into a team like you would in Overwatch. Some of the characters kind of fit those archetypes, but you're free to choose basically whoever, as long as they aren't selected already. My favorite hero was Jabali. He had a healing orb that he could throw at teammates and a damaging orb that damaged enemies, and a machine gun. I also really liked Haymar. She's like a fire Scarlet Witch type character. She can float in the air for extended periods of time, throw down firewalls, throw down like flashbang magic. I really enjoyed that when using a character, not only did I have to think about my arsenal, like my toolkit, but I had to know what the other player had access to as well, which is a cool feeling, because it's like, oh, I need to go and learn all these other characters so that I know what I'm up against and can be like, all right, they have a healing ability, so I need to stay heavy on the shooting. It's a cool feeling. It's very familiar, in an Overwatch type of game, but mixing that type of playstyle with some Destiny mechanics and some Destiny gameplay feel is really, really nice. I'm really excited for this. Is this something you want to check out, Kyle?
I am kind of intrigued by it. It sounds floaty, sounds like a negative word, but I'm kind of liking the way it looks. So I'll probably spend some time with it.
Yeah, it does skew way more into like the Halo Destiny type of first-person shooter combat, which is my preference, versus like, I think like Call of Duty, they kind of refer to as like Twitch-based shooting, where it's really just about speed and who got that aim down sight first on the enemy, which is fun, but I feel like these types of games require a little more thought, which I can appreciate. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up our little showcase of Concord gameplay. There's a beta coming out in July, closed beta if you like pre-order the game, and then there's also an open beta, and the game hits PlayStation and PC this August. Kyle, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Wes.
Bye, everyone.